guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, Study Mount Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Oscar's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up and let's go. Not this early. All the sports teams have to do new tryouts after all. Can't let all fresh meat go to waste. Sign-ups in next week, so no games will be scheduled for a while.
Guess we'll have to meet up with him tomorrow then, unless you want to call him. I could.
I stare over at Oscar, who looks to be trying his best to seem as relaxed as possible, but there's little signs I never would have noticed before, like his eyes darting to meet my eyes or his smile forcibly widening whenever he thinks we're looking. He must be nervous about meeting Nathan again. He did say he was going to tell him about our little incident. I still don't know if that's necessary, but it sounds like it's something he feels like he needs to do. I don't have the right to stop him. But I think I want today to be a relaxing day. Last night was a lot. Shifting it back to this topic is a risk, but I know it's better than leaving it where it was. But the moment I bring up last night, I can see Lily's eyes brighten.
You still didn't tell us what happened between you two.
Nothing happened. It's not entirely false. We didn't end up doing anything, even if I feel like I've both made massive strides with Oscar and simultaneously completely fell back to the starting line. But it doesn't look like anyone's buying it.
Fine, you guys are so boring. I'll just have to probe you later.
That looks to be the end of that, and as if to make it all seem final, Lee pushes himself out of the booth, taking a moment to stretch before turning to us. Is that all you guys wanted to do? I have to get home soon to talk to my sister.
Is everything alright? It didn't sound like things were the best when I called you.
It didn't even take a second for her to realize she let something slip that she shouldn't have, and the rest of it tried to act like we didn't hear anything. Well, we didn't try to hear... Blah! Maybe redo that sentence. She let something slip that she shouldn't have, and the rest of it tried to act like we didn't hear anything. Well, Oscar and I do. Lucas just watches intently. Lily tries to mouth an apology, but that only makes it worse as Lee groans into his hands.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. I just had a fight with my sister last night. Family stuff.
You sure?
Positive, kid. Don't worry over me. I'm fine.
If you're sure.
I'm sure. To emphasize his statement, he ruffles up my head fur with his claws, turning the whole thing into a mess. I have to bat his hands away, but that just makes everyone laugh. Even Lucas is smiling. Is that everything? I really should get going home.
One last thing.
Yes?
I know that Wallace and Oscar found out some juicy info about Conrad and Quinn, but did you guys find anything out in your investigation?
All attention shifts between Lee and Lucas, all curious if the two of them had discovered anything that could possibly answer some of the strange questions we had. But after a few moments of silence, it's pretty clear that neither of them had anything to add, much to our shared disappointment. Seeing everyone deflated is enough to stir Lee into finally speaking, even if it didn't end up giving us any useful information. I found out that Mercy used to help out at a shelter for homeless kids, but I decided I shouldn't go. I don't want to bother them. We all wait for him to elaborate, but once it's clear he isn't, our focus switches over to Lucas, who similarly just gives a non-committal answer.
I didn't find anything else. I thought I did, but I didn't go through with it. It wasn't worth it.
That's okay. Thanks for looking. I had to chime in. Everyone started to look so down. Even Oscar looked unsure how to approach the situation. It looks like it worked as Lee shrugs it off, going back to his usual cool composure. Still, Lucas still looks a little unsure, so I shimmy a little closer to him to try and give him a bit of reassurance. He usually responds well to stuff like this, even if I'm not quite sure why. The change is almost instant. It's small but more than noticeable as he seems to noticeably relax, though he doesn't lean back into me like I'd expected. He just looks like he's enjoying the presence. With that out of the way, I'll head off. Let me know if you guys need me again. I'll come running if it's important. Come riding back on a white horse to sweep Wallace off his feet, huh? I think I'd leave that to you. Sounds like you have a reservation. Huh? Hey, what does that mean? But Lee doesn't give him an answer. He just walks away with a flick of his tail. I can't see it, but I just know he's got a smile on his face, and I get the feeling that Oscar knows it too. We all watch him until he disappears out the door, though everyone is more amused by how flabbergasted Oscar is. Damn, Papa Bear got fangs today. I didn't think he had it in him.
What do you mean? He's always been a little harsh on you. I don't think that was very harsh. Sounds like he was giving someone a bit of a tease. You know, if it would be easier to dissuade any rumors if you guys just told us more details about last night. You've been very secretive. What's wrong with that? Don't they deserve a little bit of privacy? I suppose. I'm just teasing after all. Honestly, I'm more worried about last night than knowing the details. Are you sure the both of you are okay? Her shift in tone is sudden, and her piercing gaze as she shifts her eyes between Oscar and I feels like it's digging through my brain. We're okay. At least I think we are, right?
I'm feeling much better. It was just a whole thing, you know?
With a long sigh, she finally gives in and flops back in her seat. Though she's unsatisfied, she wouldn't push us if we're uncomfortable. Alright, I won't push any further. Let's wrap things up, shall we?
What's there to wrap up?
Let's go over everything we learned. We know that Conrad was being secretive with Helena for some reason, and that Quinn seems to have set them up with an ulterior motive.
I still think he wasn't that into Helena. All dudes I met on the football teams would have killed to show off to a chick like her.
That doesn't make sense. If he was just dating her for his reputation, why would he hide her? That's not logical. Wait, Lucas has a pretty good point here. If the whole idea of getting with Helena was to get the guys off his back, why hide her? Wouldn't he want the whole team to know? Second, y'all, it is water time.
Guys and gals, and we are back. Let's go ahead and jump back into it, shall we? Okay, let me plug my device in. There we go. Okay. Alright, we are good to go, y'all. Let's do it. Alright. Nathan mentioned he didn't even find out from Conrad that he was dating her. He was Conrad's closest friend on the team. He had to find out because she showed up one day. Maybe that means he wasn't just using her. What if he did like her? Couldn't he have just been shy about it? It didn't sound like he dated anyone before. I can understand wanting to keep it quiet at first. My eye meets Oscar's, but he breaks contact instantly and looks down at the table. It's subtle and no one else catches it, but I can't help but feel a little bad. I didn't mean to make him feel guilty. I'll have to apologize to him later. Our situation is a whole lot more complicated than just being shy. Sorry, man, I don't think that's the case.
Why not? Sounds reasonable to me. Jocks can be assholes. Why bother letting them get to you?
Just a hunch. I just don't think he was that into her.
Well, we won't figure anything else out by talking about it. We'll have to look into it further. Maybe have Wallace read the diary some more. I might do a little research myself.
Research?
Of course, can't let you guys do all the investigating, and honestly, Quinn confuses me a lot more than Conrad does.
She seems pretty cut and dry to me.
Still, it doesn't hurt to be thorough, right?
Yeah, honestly, I think the more we can get, the better. I immediately regret adding that part onto the end. I didn't mean for it to come across as it did, but it's clear that I've just made Lily worried again. But she doesn't comment on it as she slips out of the booth with a massive smile on her face. She even sneaks me a little wink before turning her attention back to everyone. I really got to thank her for being so patient with me. I'm gonna start my own little sleuthing in the library. Did you want to join, Lucas? I know how much you like it there. She adds a teasing inflection at the end that causes Oscar to snort, but it looks like it's gone over Lucas's head as he seems to take it completely straight.
Oh, I suppose. I didn't have any plans today, and going to the library wouldn't be too bad. I usually work on assignments on Sundays, and this is close enough to that. What?
All of us like we're trying to hold in a lot of laughter. Some of us better than others. It looks like she's about to burst into a giggling fit while Oscar just looks like his usual self. I like to think I'm playing it cool, but I can feel the twitching of my mouth and my ears instantly flare up when Lucas cocks his head after looking my way. Guess I'm not as slick as I thought. Nothing. I think everyone's just happy that you invited us all today. You've never done that before.
I was pretty surprised. That's usually my job.
I think you guys are giving a bit of a hard time. Looks like we just worried Grumpy a little too much. That's my bad.
You guys were upset. It was just the right thing to do.
I know, man. I ain't giving you a hard time. Just saying I appreciate it. Something about what Oscar just said plunges Lucas into deep thought. One long enough that the rest of us all look at each other, but Oscar and Lily just give a shrug.
Excuse me, Lily. What's the matter? I wanted to talk to Wallace and Oscar alone. Could you leave and I'll meet you at the library later?
If that's okay.
Of course that's okay. I'm not gonna be some overprotective mom. Well, not all the time. Don't stare at me like that. Lee's way worse. Okay, fine. I'll go. Just be safe, okay? She immediately notices that what she just said, and we're all laughing, even Lucas. It's a nice moment. No matter how little we solved with Helena's case, it made this whole day worth it. Okay. Maybe I see your point. Damn, I thought it was being smooth. You're not exactly subtle.
Oh, does that mean I'm no longer the least subtle one? Have I gone up a rank?
Maybe I should go with her.
I'm just messing with you, man. Sorry, I just wanted to have some fun.
It's fine. I've gotten used to your weirdness. This is adorable, but I gotta stay true to my word. I'll catch you guys later and keep you updated. I'll find some good stuff, I promise. She slides out of the booth and skips away, though not before turning around and giving us an overdramatic wave for someone we're likely going to hear from later tonight. Then she's out the door and we're down to just the three of us. She's really something, ain't she? She definitely has things sorted out. It makes me a little jealous, if I'm being honest. I think you're doing a good job, compared to most people I know. Oh, thanks. I think you're doing pretty great, too. Not really, but I know you're just trying to be nice. I wasn't... Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I was just meaning that I appreciate it, but I still have some things to figure out, that's all.
Nothing wrong with that, right? I don't think many of us have all our crap together.
You have a major, at least. I can't say that for us.
I'm just going with the flow and doing what I think would make me happy. You guys should try that more. I think I'm starting to get Wallace to come around.
He's smiling at me, but it's different from the one he usually shares. It's more emotionally charged, and I can feel my face flushing as I break eye contact, though his answering chuckle only makes it burn hotter. Lucas looks between us before sinking back into his head. He doesn't last long in there, though, as only a couple seconds pass before he addresses the two of us. Where did the two of you go, anyway? You never told anyone. Oscar and I share a look, though he seems to be willing to let me decide how we're going to approach this as he nods his head for me to speak. We went to the beach. Things were a little strained. But are they better now?
They're improving. I think we have a long way to go. I think it's a lot better than last night. Can't get much worse than that. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!